Alright everyone, some interesting transfer news to bring you away. It's come from liverpool.com and it's by Matt Addison. So, as all of them, take this with a pinch of salt and you can form your own opinions really. Sorry Dunk, I'm using your phrases there. Yeah, so let's have a look at this story. It says, when I find it, where are we? Oh, I've just seen it and then I've just lost it. Right, we're apparently linked with a $65 million. I don't know what that is in pounds. I think it's about 50 to 55 million. And that's Atalanta midfielder. I don't even need to read the article to know who it is. And a Real Betis wonderkid, Jesus Rodriguez. And apparently he's linked back with us and Chelsea. Seems like everybody's being linked with Chelsea these days. Right, so let's see. And it was Edison. No surprise there. And they say he hasn't been linked with a move to us for a while now. But his name is circulating again in transfer gossip columns. They claim Juventus are interested in him. But they are apparently concerned that both us and both Manchester clubs, actually, I just saw Man City mentioned at the end there, are in for him. Now, the City one's interesting because we don't know the state of these 115, 130, whatever charges, what sanctions are going to be put on them, and the state of play there. I think it's probably safe to assume nothing has happened and it'll be carry on as normal unless told otherwise, really. So don't assume they're going to be relegated to the bottom of the pyramid until it's confirmed they're relegated to the bottom of the pyramid. Otherwise you're just going to get into a complete nightmare. But do they need him? They've just bought Gonzalez. Rodri's back in individual training. So they've got two players that can play that defensive midfield role there. Edison makes no sense unless they know something we don't. Man United. Well, there is rumours that Ericsson and Casemiro could be on way out. They're not getting any younger. But you've got Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. You'd have Ugarte in that midfield. You'd have Kobbie Mainoo in that midfield. And I'm just trying to think, because he plays a 3-4-3, Amorim, so he has two players. And I'm sure they've got other players as well on the fringes. But I did a video earlier in the week about how Amorim could be costing them 400 million. So we don't know what they'll have to spend. So that's, again, we don't know if we can afford them. Let's have a look at Juventus. Who actually face Atalanta in Serie A this weekend. It's just an interesting link with the success of Ryan Gravenberg and how the three of them are working together at the moment. Do we really need now that established main name to come in? Because who do you drop? I do like Edison. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. It's an interesting story. It's an interesting link, but I don't know if he's the right type of player. Now, if we'd had issues with one of the other two, or for some reason one left, I could see there being more to this, but I don't think it's something worth talking about just now. And in fact, when we did need that six, that ball playing six, we didn't go for Edison. We went for Martin Zubamendi of Real Sociedad. So, you know, that's one now I think take lightly. Now, the other one is Real Betis. It's Jesus Rodriguez, who's a winger, and we're competing. We are hypothetically chasing him with Chelsea, shall we say? That's according to the Mail. So, good player, huge prospect. In fact, if one thing to look at, if you go to my friend Gareth's channel, Cop Outs of Anfield, he has a Wonder Kid series. You may see Jesus Rodriguez pop up. He may do a video on him. I don't know. I haven't had much chance to look today. It's because it's been a pretty busy morning. But yeah, I mean, this article calls him the Real Betis Wonder Kid. So yeah. And it mentions here his release clause is $54 million. So that would be 45 million pound. So he's got it cost under 50 million. He's played 10 times at senior level, got a goal. Let's have a look. Yeah, it says here he's a pacey winger. I've seen a little of him, and he is quick, but I wouldn't say I've seen enough to form a solid opinion just yet. I mean, he's hardly played. Good player right now, yes. Potentially top player, yes. I just don't think he's one to go for right now. Just me personally, I think there are better options in that price bracket if you want somebody to compete now. But then you always have a worry with some of the younger players that if you don't get them early and help develop them, to sign him in 2 or 3 years' time, you could be having to pay 100 to 150 million. I mean, look how much, for example, Newcastle paid for Alexander Isak, and look at the fees reported now. It's a gamble if you go early and potentially reap the benefits down the line, or wait So, you know, if they're tried and trusted and have to pay a bit more. What else does it say about him? It says here, Liverpool would be likely to target a more proven option, which is pretty much what I've just said. Would want somebody that has developed, so I could say Jamie Gittins. I could say Shirky, if you wanted a different type of wide player. Oh, Shirky's a bit more versatile. I'm just trying to think. Boomer of Brentford. Matoma. Is it Matoma? No, not Matoma. Yes, Matoma of Brighton. Are players that are still learning and improving, but they've got more experience, and some have played in the Premier League, so they've got a bit more understanding of the pace of the game, because, as I've said before, the league is a completely different beast to, say, the Portuguese league or Serie A or the Bundesliga or Liga 1. And they mention here Chelsea's had mixed success with young attackers. Well, when you think they've bought in Jadon Sancho, João Felix has gone off to Milan on loan after being at the club for a second time, and it's failing a second time. Jadon Sancho went on loan after being really good at Dortmund, coming to Man United and not doing well, going back to Dortmund and doing well. Who else have they said? Pedro Neto, good player at Wolves, really talented prospect. But I don't think Chelsea fans have seen what the Wolves fans saw. What else did they say? Noni Madueke and Mikhailo Mudryk, who I think was turned down Arsenal to go to Chelsea, and I don't think even Chelsea saw what he can do. So there's examples of a gamble not ultimately always paying off. But yeah, we're linked with a wonderkid and Edison again, apparently. What do you think of them? Do you know much about them? Would you recommend them? I'll be curious to see what Martin at Redwater LFC has to say on the two players, because he's a really knowledgeable guy on football matters. He knows his players. He's got a good insight. In fact, search on YouTube after watching this. Search for Red Raw LFC. In fact, if you go to my bio and you'll see the links, it's in there as well. I'll try and put a tag in the description for him and for Gareth Coppite of Anfield. Two channels you should look out for as well. So I'd be curious to hear Martin's thoughts on this wonderkid and these Edison links. As I said, he's a knowledgeable fella with players, especially around Europe. He knows his stuff. And I'd also like to hear your views. For me, I think both would be bad ideas. Not because they're bad players, but I don't think the right profile player for what we need in the current situation we have at the club. Alright, well, thank you very much. Take care.